morning everyone, it's Carol here at Aakash Journals. I'm just making a start this morning on my next little wreath embroidery for my embroidered wreath fabric journal, which is my sewing project for 2025, or certainly one of my sewing projects for this year. So here I'm just flipping through my fabric designs, and this is the one that you chose for me to stitch this time round. It won out by an absolute mile. And as the snowdrops are just coming into bloom in my garden at the moment, this was just the perfect choice. So thank you so much everybody for choosing this one. So here you can see that I'm just hooping up my fabric. This is a small 5-inch hoop, so you can tell from that how small the design actually is. It's only around about 3 3/4 inches. So there we go, I've got a nice tension on that, and just looking at the design, I think I probably will repeat a lot of my stitches from the last one. So I'll go all the way round with split back stitch in green, and I'll use the same green, which was the 3051. For these rose hips dotted all round here, I think I will use my red again, which was the 612. It's a nice deep rusty red, and that will give me some continuity throughout my little wreath embroideries. For these little dots all over, I probably will go in with some gold just to maybe make those pop a little bit. I've got a few leaves tucked in and around, so again I'll use the green for those, maybe doing those in detached chain stitch, and these little rose hips again in detached chain stitch, but fill them in a little bit with 1 or 2 straight stitches in the middle. So I'm going to thread up a needle with the green and start doing my circle all the way around. So this is where I'm at so far. I'm just going in now doing some of the little leaves, and originally I was thinking that I would do these just in detached chain stitch. Whoops, got a bit of red thread on there, a little scrap. Originally I thought I would do these in detached chain stitch, but I decided that I wanted to do them in satin stitch, and I've got a couple of strands of thread. As you know, these are DMC stranded cottons that I'm using. and I'm just doing maybe 6-7 stitches just to create the shape. Very quick, very easy. Just going to move those stitches over slightly so I can see my line and get them, the next set of stitches, lined up. So I'm just going to weave my thread through on the back to get to the next one. I could end it off and start again, but actually I'm not bothered about the back because that's going to be well and truly hidden. So here's my next leaf here. And for the stems, all I've done again is split back stitch. I was going to do straight stitch, but I've done split back stitch because it's slightly thicker. And off to either side of my split back stitch, I've just done a couple of straight stitches, as you can see here, and up there and up there. So just one stitch to go the full length, and then I'm coming up next door to it and going up there. You can do all sorts of stitches for leaves, but because these are so tiny, it just needs a couple of stitches in satin stitch just to create the shape. So as I say, I'm probably only doing about 7 stitches, 6-7 stitches to create my shape. And I've gone in with a really nice olive green thread here, whereas my main circle of split back stitch was a different green. I just want a pop of colour occurring, otherwise it'll look very, very flat if I don't pull in some other colours, other shades of green. So that's what I'm doing. So just another couple of stitches on this one. That's how I'm doing my leaves. I'm going to go all the way round doing that, and then I will come back to you to show you what it looks like, and then we'll go in, I think, and do the berries next time. So I'm just lining myself up here for quite a big leaf, as you can see, and I've started a little bit short. I've gone a little bit short on the stem, so what I'm going to do is just do a little split back stitch there. There we go, just to get it up to the base of the leaf. So there we go, probably just about got enough thread, so I'm going right up to the top here. Normally I start at the bottom, but it doesn't really matter where you start, and I'm going to go into that last split back stitch that I've done and come up next door. Try and keep your stitches all nice and tight, because I think it gives a better effect. When I say tight, I mean tight as in butting up to each other. I'm going to come back down here, go back up again. And I'm just going to move that last stitch over so I can see what I'm doing. And there we go. So I'm just going to thread up my needle with some more thread and carry on doing my other leaves, and then come in and do the berries. So I'll be back in a little while when all my leaves are done. As you can see, time has marched on quite a bit, and I've actually finished my little wreath. I left it with you that I was going to finish off the foliage, which I did. I put in some little straight stitches as well to break up the circle and make it look a little bit more delicate. I also did my berries. Now for those I did a single chain stitch and then filled in the centre with some straight stitches, and I went over those quite a bit to get a little bit of dimension, and then at the end I just added sometimes 2, sometimes 3 little straight stitches in black just for the end of the berries. For the actual snowdrop here I did split back stitch in a lighter colour thread. Don't have the number of that thread unfortunately. And then for the main stem I did some whipping with a single thread of DMC. For the actual flower head, I outlined the white part of the flower, the petals, with split back stitch, and then I tried to fill in the rest using thread painting, which is just long and short stitch. Now I'm not very good at that, and I tend to find that I need to practice it quite a bit, but I'm not too unhappy with the result. The more I practice, the better I am. I haven't done any of this for a good 18 months, probably 2 years, so I was coming at it pretty cold. I couldn't get any variation using a slightly creamier thread for the middle petal, so I ended up outlining that with split back stitch. I will do some photographs for you to have a much closer look at this. What you're seeing is pretty small in size. This is only 3.5 inches across, so this is not very big at all. Did take a wee while to do, a lot more detail than the previous one I did, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the result, and I love the colours on here that I chose to do. So as I say, I'll leave some photos at the end for you to have a closer look. I will go and dig out my other Sue Oliver wreaths and pick out the one I'm going to do next. So look out for the next video in this little mini series and you'll see which one I'm going to tackle next. Thank you so much as always for watching, everybody. Until the next video, take care. Bye bye now.